Hello everyone, I'm Rachel Tessman from stampyourartout.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Andover, Minnesota, and I'm here to bring you a live paper crafting class, my usual time on Wednesdays at 11 a.m. Central Time. Welcome to everybody. It is March 15th, 2023 at 11 a.m. Central Time. And please like, comment, share. I'd love for you to get involved, and I'd love for you to come back to future lives. In this video, I'm going to show you how to make a very easy side window card. So it's got like a little cut out on the side of the card, and you're going to see what's in the window in the front when the card is closed, and then when the card is open. So hence the name window card. And we're going to be using the framed Florets dies, which have this beautiful oval shape to several of them. We're going to be using one of them to make eggs. And we're also going to be using the Tea Boutique designer paper, although you could use, any kinds of designer paper that you find. Celebrating You stamp set, and if there's another stamp set that you have in mind. The stamp set is basically for sentiments. And then we're going to be using a couple other things like the Banners Pick-a-Punch, the Elegant Eucalyptus Embossing folder, and a few other coordinating products. A big welcome to you. If this is your first time coming to my lives, I'm so glad that you're here. I hope you have fun, and I hope you come back to future ones. Also, a big welcome to our moderators. We have moderators on Facebook and YouTube. Trisha Josephs is with us on YouTube, so please say hello to her on YouTube. You can actually tag her by typing the @sign, the A with a circle around it first, and then you start typing her name, Tricia Josephs. Click on her name and you'll be able to tag her. That way, if you have a question or you have something that you wanted to say to her directly, that comment from you will stand out more for her, so she will see it. On Lisa, on Facebook, I believe you could probably tag Lisa by typing her name. I'm not sure. I haven't even had a conversation with Lisa about that. Have people been tagging you, Lisa? But anyways, Lisa Marshall's with us on Facebook, and she's here to do the same thing. That way I can keep on talking and keep on teaching, because I don't like to take too long at getting to the project. So on that note, let us bring you over to the PDF that you'll be able to print off from my website when this blog post goes live. So this video is linked to a blog post, and I always have a little bit of a delay. That way, in case I need to change anything, that sort of thing, I can do that. I'm a one-man show or a one-woman show, and so when I have winners on my live, I like to type their names into that blog post. So if you ever have a question on if you were a live winner in the past several lives, you can go back to all my Wednesday blog posts. My blog is stampyourartout@comcast.net. You just scroll through there and look for all of those past Wednesday blog posts, and you can just scroll down and you can see if your name was written there. But on that note, let's look at the PDF that we have here. The PDF is, again, something that you'll be able to download once this blog post goes live in a little over an hour. So at 12:15 p.m. Central Time, you'll be able to print this off. And it has pictures, photographs of the projects. It has the name, it has the date, it has the supply list, and then it also has measurements. Now, last week we had our international all-star group. We did this blog hop, and so I had in there my metric measurements, and I thought, Rachel, you can do that again. So I know it's hard sometimes when you're set on one way of measuring, but I put in there the metric for those of you who use metric. So hopefully that will be something that you can appreciate and take into mind when you're making your cards in the A4 size. So you can see the list of supplies there. There's not a whole heck of a lot there, but again, you can change things up. So if you want to change out the papers, if you want to change out the stamp set, you can, but the framed florets or the oval die is an important one. So you'll want to get your hands on it if you want to make these egg cards. Okay, good morning to all of you. It's so fun to see your names roll in, and I can see where you're from, and I can see your weather, and I can see how long you've been crafting. It's fun. It's so fun. So thank you. All right, let's go down to the desktop now. These are the framed florets dies, and you can see here we have some dies that match some stamp images that have a coordinating. This has a coordinating stamp set to it, but then you have more of like the detailed dies, and we're going to be using these three. These three will create some foliage, some leaves, and then we also will be using this oval because it cuts out from the center. It also cuts out a frame, but when it do I have it here? I do. So here's what it will cut out completely if you want it to, but you'll notice that there's also a cut on the inside, and we're going to be using that to create our eggs. All right, so I'm going to pull these back over here. By the way, if you're interested in these 6x7 magnetic sheets or the holders for them, I did remember to list those directly into the description of my video, which you can find if you're on YouTube. And then after the live is done, I will transfer that information over to the Facebook. Okay, let's grab our trimmer. This is our Stampin' Up! Trimmer. Love it, love it, love it. We're going to create our card. Our first card is going to have a totally parakeet party green card base. Okay. Hi, Bonnie. Hi, Pat. All right, so we're going to go ahead and cut this in half. So half of 8 1/2 is 4 1/4. So we brought the paper to the 4 1/4 mark, and we're going to cut. I tend to push my blade in the same direction all the time. If you go back and forth, that's fine. That's good to do, right? But if you only push in one direction, then remember to turn your blade around after it starts to get dull, because then you can use the other side of the blade for that same length of time that you used the first side, right? Now we're going to turn it in this direction. We're going to take one of our pieces. We're going to use a light gray blade. We're bringing it to 5 1/2 because 5 1/2 is half of 11 inches, and we're going to score. So now we have our card base. Save this piece because you'll need some scraps from, not for the card that I'm making. You won't need scraps for it for the card that I'm making, but if you're going to do the second version, you might want to hang on to that parakeet party color. For the scraps, we're going to need white, and we're going to need, this is basic white, and then this is granny apple green. This is what we're going to cut the foliage or the leaves from, and then this one is going to create some little banner pieces. So let's just trim those now. I'm going to take one and cut one that is 1/2 of an inch. I'm using the measurements on this side now. Now I'm going to go to 1 inch, and we'll just zoom in so you can see better. I'm sorry, let's go to 3/4 of an inch. 3/4 of an inch next. And then let's go to a full inch. So I'm changing it every 1/4 of an inch. Okay, so now I have these fun strips. We're going to use those for the sentiments. Let's bring in our Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. And we are going to do, oh wait, we don't want to do this yet. I forgot. We need to do one more thing. Hang on. We need to bring in the designer paper. So let's grab that. Oh, thank you. Thanks, Bonnie. All right, so this is the fun designer paper. This is our Tea Boutique designer paper. And you can see it's got teapots and flowers and teacups and flowers and leaves. Lots of pretty things that just kind of scream spring. Oh, lemons, right? Because we put lemons in our tea. If you look at the flip side, you can see these are more monochromatic type of designs. And I thought to myself when I was thumbing through these that these would make fun, pretty eggs. I wanted a green base for my card. So even though we already have this done, I wanted a little bit of decoration to it. So we have that piece that we're going to put on top. So I need to cut this down. We're going to cut that to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, which is the same size as the front of our card. Okay, so that's the one that we'll be using there. If you want vertical stripes, you could totally have cut it in the other direction. I like the horizontal. And then I took these pieces and I cut some eggs, and I already cut the eggs, so I'll show you which ones I picked. These colors, by the way, are Crumb Cake, Crushed Curry, Fresh Freesia, Garden Green, Orchid Oasis, Parakeet Party, Petal Pink, Starry Sky, Sweet Sorbet, and Tahitian Tide. And I do want to point out that a lot of these colors here are in colors, colors that only stick around for a couple years. And we're going to talk about that towards the end. All right. So here we have some eggs. And you can see there's quite a variety here. I have a couple that are in the Starry Sky color, which I definitely want to use. But I'm not sure. Should we use the one with the stripes or should we use the one that's more got the white little, I don't know, kind of like an X shape on it. This one is Orchid Oasis. This one is Fresh Freesia. Then we have Tahitian Tide, Crushed Curry, Petal Pink, and the Sweet Sorbet. So I would love your opinion, okay? I'd love your opinion. First of all, which one? Should we do more of the rough, we'll just call this the lighter one, light Starry Sky or the dark Starry Sky? And then of these, which one do you prefer? Actually, two of them we're going to pick out, okay? So tell me what your choices are. I should leave those up there. And while I leave those up there, I'm going to put some glue on the back of this sheet, and we're going to glue it down. And now I normally would use like seal adhesive or whatever, but we're going to use our multi-purpose liquid glue, which comes in a container like this. And I'm using the precision tip bottle that you can find in my favorites on my website. And we're going to glue the whole entire back, okay? Okay, I see dark, light, light, dark, light. Okay, this is good to see. Okay, light. Now I'm seeing some color choices. I see the yellow. Okay, this is fun. Someone's from Bowling Green. Who was that? Julie. She wasn't calling out green though. Okay, what else? Dark, light. Oh my gosh, it's almost equal. I will look up again in just a second here and scroll through. So I am going to put glue all over the back side of this as much as I can. I should call my my son Luke down here to see if he can look at the comments while I'm doing this. He is off school. They have spring break. You know what? I'm going to go in the other direction too. The reason why I'm gluing the whole entire back is because we're going to die cut and I don't want to have edges that don't have much adhesive on them. Okay, so let's put this back down. Okay, I'm going to look up again in just a second here, you guys. Let's open this up, lay this on here, line it up with the edges of our cardstock, and press it down. Now, if you find that the designer paper is going off the edges in either direction, you can trim it. You can use a long bladed scissors like this. Okay, this one looks like it's cut pretty much. Oh, there's a little bit. Can you see that? There's just a tiny bit showing right there. So I'm going to trim along the top here. Starry Sky, Fresh Freesia. Not a fan of metric, Sue says. That's okay. You know what? In the U.S., we are still in Imperial, even though they promised me in grade school that we were going to change, right? Fresh Freesia, Crushed Curry, purple, yellow. Oh, you guys, a lot of you are liking this combination here. The yellow and the purple. I saw a couple people say pink, though. And then I still don't know between those two. But let's do this trimming really quick here. Petal Pink, Parakeet Party, and Sweet Sorbet. This is fun. Fun to see what you guys say. All right, so we've smoothed this out. All right, so you know what? I think I'm going to go with the yellow because a lot of you were saying yellow. And of these two, I think it's a toss-up. I'm going to go with this one. So we'll do that one. And we've got some pretty bold colors here. So now it's just a matter of picking one more egg to go with these two. Okay? So pick between those colors. Tell me which one. In the meantime, I'm going to get my machine out. Okay? A lot of you are saying pink. 2 shades of purple. It's so fun to see what you guys write. Okay, let's bring this in. And now we're going to layer up our platform. We're going to use platform number 1, die adapter number 2, cutting plate number 3. I love how Stampin' Up! Numbers these so it's easy to figure out. And then we're going to put this piece opened up, and we're way too close, aren't we, Rachel? There we go. We're going to open this up onto our platform here because we don't want to cut the back. We just want to cut the front. And you can still see the colors, right? Which one should we have with it? Blue, Tahitian Tide, red or blue? Okay, let's grab our dies. Where did I put them? Here they are. And we're going to lay this down on here. And what I'm doing is I'm just kind of tilting it a little bit. So this is the top, this is the bottom of the card. And the egg is not going to stand straight up. It's going to be a little bit tilted as if it's leaning against something, okay? I also want to watch the top and the bottom of my card because I don't want to have like too little down here or too little up there. So I sort of need it somewhat towards the middle. So we're going to place it right about there. And then we're going to lay our other number 3 cutting mat on top and start cranking. Red, blue. Pretty sure you can't make a wrong choice, says Mary. Love it. Dark purple and yellow. Okay, let's see here. I see lots of reds. I see lots of people choosing red. So it's like these. It's either this combination or it's this combination. All right. That one just seems like too much of one color, doesn't it? Okay. Why don't we go with the red? Does that sound good? Lots of contrast. I think that's what a lot of people are choosing anyways. All right, hopefully we made everybody happy. Now keep this piece here. Did you see also that it cut out the frame and the oval? So we could separate. We could use this C for another card that says congratulations. Because now it's a C. But yes, save this. You're going to need that. Now with this egg shape, the oval, it's the same on the top and on the bottom. So even though eggs are typically a little bit smaller towards the top, right? There's like a top and a bottom that they typically are more bottom heavy, right? But you can have eggs that are oval like that. So, and they sure look like eggs. Okay, so now what we want to do is we want to do some egg assembly. We're going to do some planning here. So we could have the red one showing through, but I definitely want to have the blue one on top because we're going to be using Starry Sky for our ink, for our sentiments. So flip a coin. Sue said flip a coin. I love it. And then this third egg is actually going to only appear on the inside. Now look what happens when we open up the card. Uh-oh, now we have teacups. Okay, so that's why I wanted you to save this piece because we're going to put this on the back side of our oval. So let's go ahead and glue that down right now. Oops, I'm just going to glue that all the way. And you can, again, use like seal adhesive if you want to. I'm just going to be using this type of adhesive all the way through the card. So lay that down and then just line it up with your fingers. You can just feel it. You can feel where the oval goes. And then you want to flip it over and make sure it doesn't show through on the other side too. That's the nice thing about the glue is it does give you a little leeway to kind of maneuver it. So we only have one section here that's not covered up. That is going to be the bottom of our egg on the front because we won't see that. Now let's do some embossing. So we're going to grab this portion of our card only, and we're going to bring in that embossing folder. It's actually a pair of embossing folders. It's called Elegant Eucalyptus 3D. Okay, so we have this one here and we have this one here. Either one of these would work, but I really liked the way this one looked because our eggs are not sitting completely on the bottom of our card. They're not like down here. So unless we use, if we have them completely on the bottom, then something like this makes more sense because these leaves and stuff are not something. I mean, otherwise your eggs look like they're floating, right? But with this one, they actually look like they're sitting in a bed of leaves because you have some coming out from the bottom, you have some coming out from the side, right? So we're going to take this, and this is what on my first card that I made, you guys, this is where I made the mistake of flipping my embossing folder the wrong way. So here's the back side of my first finished card. See, this is the way it's supposed to be on the inside, but the inside of the card actually has, oops, oh, you know what I did? So I put 2 layers on there. It actually had the emboss going the other direction, but I had to put another, like a fake layer on there, because we fix our boo-boos. We know ways to fix it. So if you feel the bumpiness of the design, that's going to be on the back. If you feel more like indentation, that's going to be on the front. So we want to go this way. And you know, you could go by the logo, because sometimes people say, oh, just make sure that you're seeing the Stampin' Up! Logo. But I have had embossing folders in the past where it was the opposite way. Okay, so we're going to lay this in here, and we're just going to center it so that this little center portion here is kind of in the bottom middle, about 1 inch up. Okay, all right, so now let's bring in our machine and our plates again. We need our plates, so we need our platform number 1, and then we just need that gray plate, this one number 4, which is for embossing folders, for thicker embossing folders. So line that up, and because it is plants, you know, plants and flowers, you can have things crooked, it doesn't matter. So, but we're going to lay this in here as straight as we can, just because that's what Rachel's personality calls for. We're going to lay that in there, and then we're going to put the gray folder on top. And you know what? Here's the thing. I don't want to get, oops, I better pull it this way. I don't want to get this little ridge here on the edge. Hang on. This edge here. I don't want to get that edge on my cardstock. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a little trick here. I'm actually going to lay this on here. Oh yeah, how did we do it? We did it this way. Oh my gosh, Rachel. Okay, now we have it in there. See what I'm doing? I'm laying it in here so that this is further ahead and this edge is off the plate. It's not on the plate. See, it's coming off the edge there. And then I'm going to place this on top so it's just covering the portion that's going to emboss. So you can still see the edge of that embossing folder. And now we're going to feed it in like that. There. Now we should not get, and let's just check and see as we pull it through, we should not get that little edge of the paper, and we didn't. Yay, there's no line going across there. So that was the trick. So this is what it looked like on the inside of my card when I originally did it. Okay, we have that done. Now we can go ahead and adhere our first egg. This is going to be the one on the front. These two are in the middle on the inside. And I want to lay down my red egg first because we want to contrast. It sounded like a lot of people really called out the sweet sorbet color. So we'll put that one on first. And you know what? I didn't count. All I did is look up. Yes, Elaine, I'm using Tea Boutique. But again, you could use any designer paper that has a nice egg look to it. In fact, there was one during Celebration, I think it's called Dandy Designs, that I thought was really awesome for Easter eggs. And then that brings to, oh, here, let's flip it over so you can see the other side too. And then that brings my attention to this comment also. Someone asked, you know, if it could be, how did they say it? Basically, they were implying that this is an Easter card that isn't real religious. And so if you don't do Easter eggs for your Easter cards, you could turn this egg card into a card that just welcomes spring, a card that welcomes a new baby, and you just change out your sentiments, okay? So there's reasons to make egg cards that aren't Easter. Now what we want to do is we want to lay our greenery on here. So we're going to go ahead and stick these pieces, which I die cut ahead of time. And we're just going to use that precision tip container again and squeeze out just a little bit. And I'm just putting it right down the center of our greenery. That's all you need. And then we will place that right about here. These dies coordinate so well with the ovals that they just wrap around like that, like that. I just think it's awesome. Right around the edge. Okay. Now we can bring in our leaves, and we have 2 leaves. They're going in 2 different directions. And one will get put down here and one will get put up here. And then you're like, why? Well, again, because we are going to cover up that space. But before we do that, let's put this egg in here and just kind of experiment again. Does that look good? Maybe we tuck it down just a little bit. That looks about right. So we're going to glue our egg in this direction here. Okay? So it's just eyeballed. There's no right or wrong way. Gluing this on, flipping it over, and it was positioned right about there. So as you can see from the inside of the card, it looks like they're sitting on a little nest of leaves. Isn't that cool? The greenery. The greenery came from the Elegant Eucalyptus 3D embossing folders. There's 2 of them in the pack. This is the other one. So yeah. All right, so now that we have this glued down, that's going to be a guide for putting this egg on. But oh yeah, pay attention to that, right? So we want to put that down this way. And because we're putting this down with dimensionals, we know that we don't have to worry about where the glue is going to end up. So zooming in just a tad here. So for the dimensionals, you'll see that we want to have one at the top of the egg and one on this side. So we're going to flip it over and we're going to put a dimensional at the top of the egg and one on the side. Now let's flip it back this way. And because we don't know exactly where that curve comes in, this is a good time to say, okay, I'm going to put one right about here on the green. So I'm going to stick one on the green. And you can even use the egg underneath as a guide, but we could probably put one right here. And then we'll put one up a little bit higher, maybe even on top of the greenery. So that should set us up for good placement for our adhesive, and it should hold our egg in place. Plus our egg's going to have a little bit of a pop to it because we're using dimensionals. Before we stick this down though, I'm going to go ahead and glue these guys underneath the egg. So we're going to use that still as a guide, and we're going to put some adhesive right on the back middle portion of each of these leaves. So again, this one will lay right on top of the yellow, and we'll just slip this under here, pull it away, stick that down. That's where we want that one. Same thing with this. We'll do some glue on the back. So I make it look easy, Fern. Yeah, well, you know what? I made like several of these so far. So sometimes our crafting needs practice, but I have made a few of these already. So you see how it's overlapping the dimensional? You can just come in and trim that because you won't need that there, right? Okay, so we have all that in place. Excellent. Let's go ahead. Oh, before we add this on here, you want to consider one more thing. You want to consider where your sentiments are going to go on the inside of your card. Now on this card here, I used a white base. I'm going to zoom out. I used a white base for the card, and on the inside I did some stamping directly onto the white. I got a little smudgy accidentally, so I decided that we would do the green one for the demonstration because I didn't want to risk getting smudgy again. But you can see if you're going to stamp directly onto your inside upper portion of the card, you don't want to add your egg and maybe not even your dimensionals yet. Okay, you want to keep it nice and smooth. But we aren't going to be doing that. So I'm going to peel off the backings on the dimensionals, the release papers here, flip that over, and line it up with the yellow egg underneath. There we go. So when you have the card closed, you don't see the yellow egg. When you open it, there's the yellow egg. And you can see again, we have the stripes on the back side of that egg. So it's almost like there's 4 eggs on the card. Lucky, lucky person has 4 Easter eggs. Okay, for these strips here, we're going to bring in the Pick-a-Punch This is our Banners Pick-a-Punch, and it will punch these two different ends on your cardstock. We're going to insert this one. This is the 1 inch wide, and we're pushing it all the way to the back, and we're going to punch it down. Now we're going to insert this one, and because the pick-a-punches are set up for those size channels, my paper fits in there directly. So 1 inch, 3/4 of an inch, and then you can see the smallest one is 1/2 of an inch. Punch that one, and then the same thing with this one here. So stick it all the way in and punch it down. And this is how you close it. You see that little button back there? So you just close it and you slide that so that it locks the punch in place, and then you can store it flat. When you want to use your punch, open it up, and this is how you can maneuver the punch. But you want to put it in this end, put the paper in this one, and this is where you hold it to punch. All right, we've got our banners. Yay! So which way are they all going to go? Well, this one is going to go in this direction on the front of the card, so that's positioned correctly. This one, the second one, is going to be going in this direction on the inside of the card. And this one is going to go that way. And they're actually going to be in this order. So let's grab our sentiments now and our ink. We're going to use Starry Sky ink. This is one of the in colors as well. Again, we're using lots of in colors today. And we're going to stamp the sentiment that says just for you. So here's the test. Can Rachel stamp during the live in these small spaces? Let's see if we can. Because it's at an angle, you guys, so I don't even know if I have it right or not. Oh, it's pretty close. No, it's not. Let's flip it over. Okay, I'm going to pull it more towards me. So hang on. We have two sides to the cardstock. Yay, that's a good thing. Oh, that looks way better. So there's that one. And then the other one is You're on My Mind and in My Heart. And that one's going to go in this direction. And I'm pulling it towards me. Sorry, you guys. Okay. Stamp that one. And then the Happy Easter. So again, you can change up the words. You can change them up so that they don't say Happy Easter or whatever. You can make this become a welcome baby card. That's straight enough. It's handmade, right? Okay. If you want to get perfect, get a stamp positioner. All right, we're going to grab our adhesive again, pulling that in, making sure. So if you look at this stamp set, this is called Celebrating You. This one's been around for a while. You can see there's lots of little things on here, like the welcome little one, grateful to celebrate you every day. A lot of the fonts are similar, so you can mix and match. Lots of love. So totally you could do a baby card for this one. Lots of love. You're on my mind. Welcome, little one. You know what I mean? But you don't even have to have the same size strips. Your strips can be all different sizes. So let's bring in our card. And on the inside of the card, we want it to say Happy Easter and You're on My Mind. And I kind of want those words to stack so that they kind of go in a vertical look together. So when I add this one, I want to position the Easter one as well. I'm just going to put some adhesive on the back side. Lay that down about 1/4 of an inch above the score line that's going through the middle of the card. One thing also to keep in your thoughts is this, oops, I'm going to go a little bit further here. Is this banner here that's going to be positioned on this side going to be in the way of the window? Because you don't want to have things showing through the window that shouldn't be. So check your pieces before you add them so you can see how that one's not in the way of the window. And then we have one other piece, and this one's going to be put on with dimensionals. That's the crooked side. So we'll grab a couple dimensionals, place one here, peel off the backing. So really the only adhesives I did use, oops, oh, they're sticking. Everything's sticking to me. The only adhesives I used were the dimensionals and the multi-purpose liquid glue. And we're going to place that one sort of there. Okay, now we need some trimming. We need to do some trimming. We have all these little things hanging off of our card, right? So again, a long bladed scissors is helpful, especially if you're going to be cutting something super long like the edge of an egg. But you can use your paper snips too. Trimming them all off. And I always flip them to the opposite side to do the trimming, because you can line things up a lot easier. So we're almost done. We've got some embellishments to put on. So here's our Just For You, You're on My Mind and in My Heart, Happy Easter. We've got a couple choices that I brought in. I've got the, all right, the pastel adhesive back sequins. Sorry, I covered up the name with placing them back inside there. Got my leftovers. That one I want to use up first if we use that. But I think this one might be better for this card because this one has a lot of the bolder, brighter colors. This is the 2022 through 24 in color matte decorative dots. We have the Sweet Sorbet color. We have the Parakeet Party on here. We even have Tahitian Tide if you guys want me to throw some of that blue on there. We don't have this yellow, but maybe we can bring in some, maybe I have another embellishment. Hang on. Because this was a card that you guys helped me create, right? So let's see what else we got here that's kind of yellowish. We have these, but they don't really match, do they? Do I have anything that is yellow and more matte colored? I could use a pearl, although they're not matte colored. And I could color it with a blends marker. We could try that. That's too bright of a yellow. Here's my pearls. I don't think we have a bumblebee-ish color or a crushed curry color. I don't know why I said bumblebee. It's crushed curry, right? That's the current yellow we have. So let's see if I've got... I don't think we have crushed curry blends either. Let's give this a try. Let's just see if this works. Oh, I want to use my brush end. This is a blends marker. I didn't list this on the supplies, you guys, but we're doing some... Oh, you know, that will work. Let's do some of those. So I'll just color 3 of these. There we go. Now we have some darker yellow. They're a little shinier than the matte dots here, but Pearl Basic Jewels colored with blends. It's a staple item. You'll probably want to grab some of those too. All right. And if you're interested in these products, by the way, you can shop. You can go visit my blog at stampyourartout at Comcast. Sorry, that's my email. You can visit my blog at stampyourartout.com, and you can click the shop button, and you can, shop for these products. Let me take that off now. So let's just go ahead and start adding these fun little doodads. I'm pushing with my Take Your Pick tool, and I'm going to peek at my one that's finished just so I don't have to think too much here. Lay that one down there. We'll put a green one, maybe a light green. Let's do a light green. Oops. Push and lift, and we'll stick that one there. Let's do a yellow one. Oh, that's looking very pretty. And then let's do a few down here. So we'll do like one of these blues. We'll put that one way over here. And we probably need another red. And let's do another yellow. And then let's do this lighter of the blues up here. I'm going to move one. I'm going to move one, you guys. There. And I think I'm going to replace this one. See, I didn't press them down yet. They're still kind of movable. I'm going to replace that one with a darker green. Just so it stands out more. Now I press them down. Now I do have one other spot up here, and it looks like we have plenty of red. We have plenty of blue from the stamping and from that egg. We've got a couple yellow and a couple green. Let's do another yellow, but let's put it up. Oops. Oh, my Take Your Pick tool. You're supposed to crank this every once in a while, tighten it up, and it'll get some more of these little gooey things out of here so that you can use them. Oh, it's stuck on the other side. I'm having Take Your Pick tool issues. There, that looks good. Ta-da! There is our finished card. We have two other versions. So we've got this one first. So you can see the yellow and the blue. We've got primary colors on this one, right? That's our primary color one. This one has primary plus a little pink, but this is our one that has the white base. Yes, the white base and a little bit of pink, which with the Sweet Sorbet lighter matte decorative dot, I thought it kind of blended in some of that pink there. So there's that one. And then on this one, I used the Fresh Freesia on the inside, but the Fresh Freesia and the sequins from this pack, which are pink, tend to work well together. So if you can see, they kind of have a purplish glow to them. So that one worked really well. And then I got the blue from the Tahitian Tide there. So those are our finished cards that we made. Well, we didn't make all of them, but you know what I mean. I hope that was enjoyable. I'm going to zoom in just so you can see them a little bit closer. All right, so I have news for you guys. We have color news, and then we'll do prizes too. We don't want to forget the prizes. But I have color news for you. First of all, let's just go through some of the colors that we talked about. We talked about Fresh Freesia. That Fresh Freesia is part of this collection of colors. This collection of colors came into play in 2021. This collection of colors, these are both in color sets here, came into the catalog in 2022. And it's only 2023. So this selection of colors will stick around another year, but this selection of colors will be replaced by a new selection of 5 colors. That's typically how it works. So don't worry about, hoarding or grabbing cardstocks, inks, refills, all that stuff. This stuff should be in plenty of supply for another year. But these are the ones that I mainly used on the cards. They're called in colors. If you do not have ink pads or ink refills or enough cardstock for some of these colors though, you may want to consider purchasing that stuff sooner than later, because the new catalog is going to be revealed to demonstrators towards the end of this month. And then in early April, we'll be able to pre-order things from it. So you'll be hearing lots of news out there. March 29th is when we get to see it. And early April is when we get to pre-order stuff. So you're going to be seeing things, you're going to be hearing things. You're going to know about the retiring products at the end of March. You're going to know which colors are leaving. You're going to know which stamp sets are leaving, all that kind of stuff. But maybe wait a few days if on stamp sets and stuff, because they're also going to include a discounted sale on some of those items. Probably not on colors, but on other items. So if you wait on to the early April, you can save your wish list and then purchase then. If you're worried about things selling out though, don't wait until the new catalog is revealed to us demonstrators. With in colors, they typically leave us. But we don't know this year how it's going to work, because we do have the heads up that there's going to be what's called a color refresh. It happened 5 years ago. It also happened 10 years ago. And Stampin' Up! Did announce to us that there's going to be a color refresh, which means they may take 1 or 2 or more of these colors, and they may keep them as permanent colors. Who knows? We don't know yet. So again, unless you really, really don't want to run out of something, make sure that you buy it now. But if you're not worried too much, you can wait until you hear on March 29th what changes of the colors are going to happen. We have heard that they're going to bring back old colors like they have in the past. We know that boho blue, which was the color of that mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, is going to be one of the in colors. So at least we know, and I don't know where I put my machine, at least we know boho blue is going to be one of the new in colors. We also know that, blanking on the name. Oh my gosh, Rachel, where did I put it? Oh my goodness, why can't I think of it? Lost Lagoon and, I'm blanking on the name. Hang on. It's over, where did I put it? Oh my goodness sakes. You guys know which one I'm talking about, with the really deep green, and it's a bird that has big tail feathers. Okay, yeah, that green's coming back too. What? Wait. Pretty Peacock. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, Pretty Peacock and Lost Lagoon. We know that those are coming back. So those are 3 colors that we know of that are going to be entering. So I just wanted to give you the heads up on the color news. I will be doing one of those color comparison videos. Yes, Pretty Peacock. I will be doing one of those color comparison videos when we have those in my hand. So make sure that you visit back for that live. That's a fun one always. Okay, are we ready for prizes? I think that's it as far as news goes. I'm going to move these aside. And I'm going to bring you over to my computer first, I think, because, hang on. There we go. And I'm going to, hang on, I just have to do something really quick so that we are over to my website. Okay, now I can bring you over there. So I'm on Google right now. I'm going to click on my website, stampyourartout.com, and I'm going to click on Shop. This is how you can access the online store, how you can learn more about our catalogs, all that sort of thing. I'm going to go down, oh, here's my favorite extras. I'm going to go down to this one called Tutorials. You can see this little side menu that's coming right off above my head. If you click on Tutorials and you're one of the names that I draw or call out right now, because I have winners from last week's video, the winners have been picked. So I will call out those names. You can go here and you can pick out one of these all-star video class bundles, okay? By the Bay, Country Floral, Fancy Flora, Hues of Happiness. You can pick out any one of them, and they go on for pages and pages and pages and pages and pages, okay? Tell me what you want if you're one of these names. So our first winner from our Facebook commenters is Sherry Major Johnson, and make sure that you reach out to me at my email address if you hear your name. Sherry Major Johnson, you are the winner. The winning comment from Facebook from last week's video. And then on YouTube, from the After Live comments, we have Sonia Wyatt. Congratulations to Sonia Wyatt. Yay to those winners. Now, I'm going to bring you back over to my desktop and show you the prizes for this time. So remember I was telling you about the Dandy Designs? Well, I have a bunch of it. And again, I think it's perfect. Sorry, I'm going to zoom out a bit here. I think it's perfect for Easter eggs, you guys. So because 12 by 12 is super hard to mail, this will be cut into quarters. But look how much paper you get. And it's not necessarily a full pack. In fact, I think I got 2 packs, and some of it is like you get 6 of one sheet, maybe 4 of one sheet. So it's kind of mix and match in there. All right. So anyways, that would be the prize, is a quarter pack of this designer paper, which is a lot. Alrighty, so I'm gonna look over at the YouTube comments on my computer, and I do want to apologize. I still don't know what happened last week when we did our live on YouTube. It basically stopped going. It was just spinning and spinning and spinning, and I could see that on my end too, but I didn't see anywhere where I could click to fix it, and I don't know what the issue was. But what I did is I kept going because it was recording on Facebook, and let me see if the winners have been called yet. Hang on. Oh, there they are. So congratulations to Tessie Splett and Fran Vano. Tessie Splett and Fran Vano. You are the winners. Make sure you reach out to me at my email address that's showing there on the screen. Okay. Yeah, I have no clue what happened, but it kept recording on Facebook. So I just kept going. And what we did is I took that video and I downloaded it and put it on YouTube. So it's sitting on both YouTube and Facebook, but it was kind of a crazy mess. And I feel bad for all the people who were watching on YouTube that don't have Facebook accounts, because you basically got kicked out of the live. And then bless your heart, Lisa was my moderator that day on YouTube, and she was trying to send links to everybody so that they could find me on Facebook, and it wasn't working for some people. But Anyways, I hope that you saw those cards last week. They were flying seagull cards and they were amazing. I am going to let everybody go, but again, thank you for watching, and like, subscribe, all that good stuff. I appreciate that. Give me the thumbs up if you can, if you want to. But take care, everyone, and now I'd like you all to go and stamp your art out. Bye-bye.